Hello, friend. I want to bring some quick good news from our studios. We are so close to being done. You see that I have a black curtain behind me, and we're finishing out my library set. You might remember that pretty much in every set that I've ever shot this show from, I'm in a library. Well, that's not a fake backdrop. It's actually my library. And our space, unfortunately, has made it so that I've had to greatly cull my library. I gave away, this was painful. I gave away over 50 cases of books in the last couple of weeks. And it was like, no, saying goodbye to these treasures. But God knows this is the hand that's dealt to us, and I accept it. We will soon be re-recording, doing a new version of the video series, What Would Mohammed Do? And we're working on a new subtitle, something about understanding Islamic terrorism through the narrative of Islam's founder, something like that. But we're going to focus on ISIS, on Al-Qaeda, on Boko Haram. So I promise you it's going to be good. The one bit of good news is that because the contributions have started to come in, we've been asking people, please help us finish the studio. And then we turned our eyes to the teleprompters that we need. We need 2 of them. Or yesterday, I ordered the first. We had enough money come in so far to order the first teleprompter. A special thanks again to that couple in Idaho with a very generous gift, and a few others who stepped up to the plate and gave us to get that teleprompter. Thank you. Hopefully we'll have enough money come in the next week or 2 to get the second teleprompter. I have been pouring my heart and soul into preparation for this series. As you know, this television program focuses on news that's happening around the world. All right? We cover Putin, we cover the Ukraine, we cover Bibi's election or attempted re-election in Israel. We cover his speech in America. This is what we do. We cover battles in pro-life. The purpose of this program is to be a watchman on the wall, to be a witness for Christ, to provide prophetic, maybe prophetic's overstated, but to provide at least insight into what's going on in the world, and to warn Christians what to beware of, and to challenge Christians what to fight for. So at times, this program will focus like a laser beam on elements of news or the backdrop of news that people in the Mick news, like McDonald's, Rush calls them the drive-bys, people in Mick news don't dig into. And so what I want to do a little bit on today's program is to explain to you some of the differences and the origin of the conflict between Sunni Muslims and Shiite Muslims. Now I have, by the way, did you hear that Boko Haram has pledged its allegiance to Abu Bakr Baghdadi? Abu Bakr Baghdadi is the self-proclaimed caliph in, whether he's in Syria or in Iraq, we don't know. If we knew where he was, we'd kill him. But he has obtained the Pledge of Allegiance. In fact, this is what it said, our caliph, God save him, has accepted the pledge of loyalty of our brothers of Boko Haram. So we congratulate Muslims and our jihadi brothers in West Africa. Islamic State is growing. Abu Bakr Baghdadi, the self-proclaimed caliph, you have to understand that there have been other points in Islamic history where people proclaimed themselves the caliph. The 5th caliph was among them after the first 4 rightly guided caliphs. And that's what what Muslim Orthodoxy calls them, Sunni Muslim Orthodoxy. So anyway, ISIS is growing. Islamic State is growing. And in their wake, they're leaving bloodshed and horror. But there's something really interesting that I want to read to you, and I want to focus on it. The ISIS spokesman said, he talked about fighting against Christians and Jews, and I'm quoting now, and it said, quote, that ISIS must first deal with Muslims who have become infidels. This is really important. Muslims who have become infidels. That's who we're going to deal with. Now, if you don't know their history and you don't know their code language, you might not know what they're talking about. What they're talking about are Shiites. You see, in the Sunni scheme, a Shiite Muslim is not a Muslim. And Muhammad said, if anyone changes his religion or leaves Islam, kill him. It's not that you're allowed to kill him. He ordered their death. So Islamic State is carrying on a centuries-old tradition saying that Shiites are not Muslims. They're heretics. They've abandoned the true faith. And Allah, through his prophet Muhammad, has said that we must kill them. I'm going to talk more about this when we come back and show you the origin of this bloodshed. It's very interesting, and I know that some say, oh man, who cares about this? We need to care. We did have a woman beheaded in Oklahoma. We did have a Muslim shooting up Americans and killing Americans in Fort Hood. Do I need to say more? This stuff is going to come to bear on us. We might as well know what it is that we're fighting.
You have two choices. I mean, you can try to raise your children by design, or you will raise them by default. There are no perfect parents. We're going to get it wrong sometimes. If we have a plan, we've got a better chance of getting it right in the long run.
There is something deep within the heart of every human being that longs for parental acceptance and approval. When does a boy become a man?
Get a group of guys around and ask them that question.
I don't think there's a certain age. Some men stay boys their whole life.
I would say, 16, 18 years old.
Wow, that's a good question.
When they get bar mitzvah.
Well, I think when he has a child. So I just became at 56, 56 years old.
Without the power of the Holy Spirit changing us and giving us power over our sin, we can't hope to be the dads that our kids need us to be.